I'm providing you with a vocal hygiene handout that we're going to use throughout the therapeutic process because vocal hygiene is extremely important in the overall success of therapy. So some do's and don'ts that I've listed are, it's extremely important to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You need to be drinking at least 64 ounces of water a day, and even more if you consume alcohol or caffeine throughout the day. It's also important to have good posture because good posture allows adequate airflow, and which in turn creates a good loud voice. It's also, you need to keep in mind, you need to have adequate sleep and exercise regularly. And then if you're going to be speaking or singing for a prolonged amount of time, you need to warm up your voice before and then cool down your voice after. The same goes with vocal rest. If your job requires you to speak a lot during the day, at nighttime, you need to make sure you have that time for good voice rest. It's also important to swallow frequently and humidify your home. So those are some do's. And then some don'ts are, it's important to avoid excessive caffeine and alcohol intake. As I mentioned earlier with the hydrating, caffeine and alcohol can really irritate your larynx, which is your voice box. Also, you need to avoid smoking at all costs. And if you can, avoid smoky environments as well. Smoking really irritates your vocal folds and can cause swelling. Excessive throat clearing is also not healthy for your vocal folds because it causes strain to them. And then chronic use of mouthwash and throat drops, they contain substances that are irritating to your larynx as well. And then lastly, it's extremely important to avoid vocally abusive behaviors such as shouting or excessive talking. So those are some quick do's and don'ts to keep in mind when you are practicing good vocal hygiene at home and in therapy.